folks, a bit of a change for you away from Battle for Zendikar Standard. So Bootbreeder now gives you a touch of modern, a couple of Tier 1 decks. So on the left side of the screen that's Gent, and then on the right side it's Grixis Twin. So let's see how it goes. Normally John's been able to pull ahead very easily against pretty much any twin deck. So let's see whether anything's gonna be different here. So cutting decks, he's really almost like performing a ritual onto my deck and slicing it and dicing it. We have quite a few decks between me and my friends, but for convenience we just basically printed out the giants, but it still looks solid. For playtesting measures and for showing up the sequences, that's perfectly fine, I feel like. And by the way, the Grixis Twin version here is the one with chases and inquisitions and stuff like that. So it's the more, let's say, proactive interactive version of it, so kinda like the hip version of it, let's say. So Gent in my hands is mulliganing down to 6, scrying. In the meantime he's just taking off, cracking Delta. Grabbing a Warrior Grave. So untapped, probably for Serum Visions. Instead it's a copy of Inquisition of Kozilek, so he sees a Tassiger, Abrupt Decay and Scavenging Ooze and Freelance from me. Definitely takes out to Decay because it's the most annoying card for his deck. Something that is able also kill Jace in any form or shape. So he persists with Serum Visions on the second turn. I'm just meanwhile cracking the fetch of my own to save up time for more action. So and then Cripping Tar Pits is the follow-up. Not morning coffee, more like lunch time coffee, but still important. Prefer it way more than anything like energy drinks or something. Seems like my brother is also recording or just in the game chat at the same time. And then me. It's alright. I just hope nothing gets ridiculous over there so we don't hear him. Really. Okay, settled on the stomping ground. Draws keys for the turn. Swamp. Expected Scavenging Ooze, which if not dead this turn could do some heavy lifting. So the turn went back to me. Probably want to keep green up for Snapcaster, things of that nature. But I'm stoned that pretty much like to the combo here, unfortunately, if he has it. So yeah, attacked with the ooze. Well, third land obviously is coming up, and then the question is what to actually do here. If I keep, because he allowed me to actually attack with the ooze, that might mean that he doesn't have Exarch, but not necessarily. Well, he can't fetch in response to my land drop. That's for sure. So I assume I pass the turn back to him here. I guess I just wanted all the green mana up before I cast Tasigur, because with Tasigur I will have to tap out. And he still can draw like a call against command or something, so better not give him free value out of the cards that he is definitely running in his deck. So he was just about to pass the turn back to me again, but end the turn use the Mire to get to green and then exiling Visions and Inquisition from his graveyard. That also makes his Chase Wars, etc. Terminate on the ooze. That's fine. That's okay. So Hydros haven't been like super amazing this game, but fairly decent anyways. Tap Cleave and then trying to cast another ooze, it gets remanded. That's fine. Still not that to his combo though. On the turn where I passed with the ooze, like yes, of course I could have cast Tasigur and tried to beat him down, but as you see, like he had terminated already. Wouldn't have been a very productive turn. But sometimes this is what you gotta do. Well, if I would have started with a turn 1 discard spell of my own, then decision making could have been a bit different here. Tapping open the Twilight Mire to cast ooze again. He goes for remands once more. Then I go for one more ooze. That gets remanded as well. I had only 4 cards in the yard at that point, so couldn't cast Tasigur even if I would tap out correctly. Just that resolving ooze is a big deal, I feel like. It normally used to be because of Snap, but now because of Chase it's super important to deprive him of all the value. Here we go. Animate Star Pit, so it's smashing for free just to start clocking me, start doing something. So which might signal that his hand doesn't really have much going on. So I think like that's the conclusion I should be thinking of and pretty happy with as well. Switching once more, going up to 6 mana. Still have Tasigur in there, which now is gonna cost just 1 mana if I wish so. So I started with the confidence, which probably results. I think he would have done something about it if he could have. Then Scavenginous, then Tasigur, and I have green up for Scavenginous. So yeah, not too shabs I would say. Terminate on Ooze. In response I hit another terminate from there. The previous one. But he still needs to deal with these two guys. Sorry. And at 14, Darkness is not gonna kill me. So I have pretty decent clock here. Set up. So he casts Tasigur of his own. So he can at least block mine unless I draw removal. List 2, draw Tarmogoyf from Bob. One more for the turn. And now it's decision time. I got Ghost Quarter, which I can do stuff with, like get rid of the tar pit, for example, or something like that. Or deprive him of second red. But it definitely feels like he doesn't have the combo here. I cast Fulminator to kill off his Steam Vents. In response, he plays a snap, flashbacks, terminate, killing my Tasigur. Now I decide to actually tap 4 to use it. I get back Inquisition, I think, or Juris or something like that. But now like 6 with tar pits, that's 9. If he has a bolt, I'm dead. I know I can still block with the Bob. Yeah, the Steam Vents definitely went to the bin. Because I'm not dead to burn spells at this point, so I decide to take it. It's going down to 8. Blocking here wouldn't have been productive anyway. He realizes that he probably should have attacked with the Snapcaster as well. Took 3, drew Lily from Bob, 1 more for the turn. Then Inquisition him. He goes for Exarch, tapping my Bob. And then he has the combo now actually in hand. And all I have is Liliana and can't cast a twin yet, because I deprived him of the second red by fulminatoring away the steam vents. Then I go for Ghost Water for the mountain, hoping that he doesn't actually have the second mountain. So yeah, he has the swamp. I think, yeah, I should have killed the tar pit here. Should have killed the tar pit, maybe. Liliana says one of your creatures is dead. I might find, so I'm clinching on the verge here, essentially. And I just didn't somehow see this. So yeah, should have killed the tar pit. That's what ended up costing me the game here. Attacking with everything, and I just have one blocker. So yeah, sometimes silly mistakes are made. You try to do it the way that you don't die to combo at all, but instead you just die to normal beatdown, and yeah, this is why Grixis twin kinda has a lot of secret benefits compared to straight blue-red. Your beatdowns are a little bit better thanks to Tessiger. So he's bringing like a Ragdistorm Dispel, one extra moon, he runs one main deck, Explosives, Olivia, he's actually thinking of Slaughter Games, Grimble Monster is an option, Kiranos is also fine, but maybe not insane. So his plan is probably cut like some parts of the combo here and then cut the remands. So at least 6 cards he can put in. He thinks of actually taking out 2 twins here. No, like 1 Exarch and 1 Pesturmite. So leaving him with what? I guess like 1 to 0 Pesturmite and 3 Exarch in the deck, but only 2 twins. Is that even enough? My plan is to cut some like creatures and bring in like more removal and my own Olivia. Damnation is a strange card, but combo is pretty hard to actually resolve. So he's mostly gonna be kicking my ass with creatures, so Damnation seemed fine. So I expected him to side in more of some versatile creatures. Yeah, Slaughter Games is just too cute here. Too cute. Way too cute. So this is what he did. I'm not sure I approve of this, but I think it's close to what he's supposed to do here in theory when sideboarding for this matchup. I'm actually more unsure with my sideboarding than his. So let me guys know in the comments below if you can point to actually big mistakes when sideboarding. I didn't like cutting some of my creatures, but it's more of an attrition war, and if creatures stick in the play, it's not very common. And just throw removal at each other at high frequencies, so relying on beatdowns is hard. It's hard. still possible. To beat your opponent like just with couple Tarmogoyfs or Tasigur. It's much more important to be interactive in this matchup. I get to start. Cleaves, Inquisition him. 2 lands, Dispel, Snap, Exarch, no, 3 lands, yeah. And the bolts, taking out Snap. Now his turn to turn 1 discard me. I think it was a bunch of lands and some 4-drop. From my side. I just drew Decay, I think. He's untapping. Visions. So he's debating about keeping Keranos or not. I think he bottomed it. Or, well, he's still thinking. Something weird's happening in here. So instead of putting it on top and drawing it from Visions, he actually ends up drawing 1 extra card, I feel like. Yeah, so be more careful, guys. Like, obviously he didn't intend to do so, but I'm pretty sure like this was what happened here, even though he moved pretty quickly. He obviously didn't mean to, but if somebody noticed that, like, that's serious. And that's actually like something crazy what people can do. So when people cast Serum Visions plus maybe something in the same turn, like, pay attention to what they're doing. I'm not entirely sure, but like he definitely did something wrong here. And I think he ended up drawing an extra card. So I resolved previously Liliana to make him discard, to make us both discard, then he tries to Inquisition me. Gets DK out of my hand. Visions again. Pushes both to bottom. Yeah, Liliana is a big powerhouse. That's for sure. I had too many lands, which I didn't really care about, but I think like I drew something relevant, so that's why I didn't play my lands and discard it. It's to Lily. Don't remember what it was exactly that I kept. examining his sideboard to figure out like what to do with his snap. Goes for classics, so flashback in visions to try to get something going. Keeps some buff on top, which is not pleasing. I can always addict him here to get rid of the snap on board. Start first with a Thoughtseize. I see Jace, Island, and a Bolt take out Jace, while maybe there's a chance I should have taken out the Bolt. Yeah, definitely should have taken out the Bolt here. Because even if he plays Jace next turn, so yeah, it was Maelstrom Pulse which I kept, and now I'm on freelance. Just like pretty annoying, so he definitely discarded to land here. Liliana is at 6, now is at 4. He has a Bolt in hand, which he's thinking like, yeah, might as well cast it here. I get a Fulminator, which can block his Snapcaster, unless he draws removal. Liliana ends at 2, still on the verge. So not really punished yet for the card that I shouldn't have taken. Although he, like, because he would have, yeah, I could have just maybe not used Liliana that turn and, like, kill his, snap or something like this. Well, like, just downtick Lily. Yeah, so drawing a land from Bob is quite okay. He had to discard Keranos to Liliana the turn before. Now I'm safely addicting him and going to beat down skis with Fulminator and Bobby, and after damage destroying his red source. He's at 12 with no red sources. Inquisition from Bob. Exarch tapping Bob, plussing Lily. Which he can't kill just yet. Passing him the turn. Back. Inquisition. I have Inquisition on the second Liliana, so he takes her, obviously. Lily down to 1. Call against commands from Bob. Draw for the turn. Plus and Lily. Discard Inquisition. Now playing the lands. And I have Kolgan's Command in my hand, from which I can return back some creatures, deal him some damage, and still be able to plus Lily safely. He's run a red source, but a bit too late maybe. Actually needed some action, like a Tasigur or something. That would have been pretty nice here. Kolga's commands deals 2 to him and gives him back Fulminator. Tapped Ravine. Plussing Lily, discard another one. That will happen anyway. Fulminator, destroying his red source again. Attacking for 2, he's down to 6. Lily down to 1. And the Tasigur, which is a little bit too late. A bit too late. I'm drawing 2 cards a turn. So it's not hard for me to draw some removal here or some action. And yes, like this build of John's, it's like Reed Duke's list or something like this. So 3 Fulminators, main deck, and 4th one in the sideboard. So so that's why you see so much of them. Playing out a couple of Tarmogoyfs. So definitely bored in the fourth one in this matchup. Yeah, it's kind of laughable, like, I took out 2 Bobs and 2 Tarmogoyfs from the deck to have some space, and drew like this. Well, Liliana was a beast in that game, and I think depriving him of red sources so quickly was also correct. Not sure about, like, that imposition on Jace over bot. It was a bit risky, but I guess in the dark, like, that was correct. In the dark, but meaning like hard to predict, like what he could draw that would just change my, potentially draw that would have changed my decision there. So let's continue with the next game over here. The matchup is probably a lot in Chan's favor, at least it used to play, but this version with Modescan and Jaces, I'm not so sure. I think it's much more balanced with this version of Twin, because instead of just trying to rely on combo or a few big downs, you become much more of a control deck, essentially. So you have more stuff going on. So let's see what's gonna happen this game. I bet Glenn have a hand for Twin. It looks like. Just tapped Ravine from me, and probably some tapped Shockland from him. He does have moons in there, so he gotta be careful. So tapped Blood Crypt. He has that no turn to play either, so we saw that he has a Tasigur. I now saw that he has an Exarch in hand as well. So I'm fetching up and assuming this Tarmogoyf is gonna resolve. Now he has a challenge. He drew Twin, so if he gets to get there, he's ready. So it's a question of like whether he will be able to get to that stage. Just playing an island and passing. So that kinda looks suspicious. So I have to be aware if like he has anything crazy over here. Fetching for the third land here. Well, I think it's Fulminator time, which actually makes him either tap out or lose a turn of development for the combo. Appears to be no answers, so I think I should have cast it like after combat to be on the safer side. I think it was a bit of miscommunication here. Didn't get punished for that kind of sloppy play, but things can be different. So he might as well have had like a counter there. Though after sideboards like with no remand, It's not so much about counters, more about removals. To be fair. So he can't combo me out this turn. He can't really play Tasigur unless he cracks a fetch land or something. So there this is. Yeah, he's a bit mad. He's a bit mad, like by these kind of draws and these turn of events. Because this situation is really annoying for him. He's trying to check up something because something went wrong. He really needed to check up something. So assume that it's not a fetch land, it's just a normal land. Like, what are his options? So he has like a Tasigur in hand, so we didn't really see anything else. So we continue here. I see a bolt in his hands, but that's not really effective here. Oh yeah, like that's what it was. He was actually checking out. It's the situation, like the ruling with the bolt and Tarmogoyf and how that stuff interacts with each other. And because I play with Tarmogoyf against it, like since the card been originally printed, and I learned it the hard way that actually bolt, when it looks like it's supposed to kill it, but if that bolt adds a new card type to the yard as a result, so like somehow because of layers or whatever, it works not in your favor. So if there is a 2/3 Tarmogoyf and you feel like a bolt like should be able to kill it, but the bolt adds an instant to the yard, so it's not gonna work. So that's what he was checking up. I don't think any rulings changed since then. I probably would hear about it. Spellscott was a fine draw. Apparently he goes with an untapped Steam Vance. Goes down to 15. I'm at 15 as well, I believe. So tries to attack with the Exarch. Definitely should. Oh, well, I had decay. Okay. I even had a decay. He can double bolt the Spellskite, but that's not really great. Olivia, so he really needs this to resolve. Spellskite doesn't work against Olivia. Terminate for that. Pretty good draw. Or does Spellskite actually work against Olivia? It says like change the target of target spell like to Spellskite. I think it's spell time, yeah. Starmargops continue on the beatdowns. So yes, he does have that bolt. Plays an islands. Plays a Tasigur. Exiles 4 cards, so Tasigur costs 3. Costs 2 mana. Some mana up. I think it's 2 bolts in his hands. I think it's a couple of bolts in the land. Something like that. I'm fetching end of turn. End of turn on taps keys. Quickly tapping. for the almighty planeswalker Liliana, so that is really supposed to wreck him here. So minusing, no task there for Tarmogoyf. He's aiming a bolt at Lily. I'll have to pay 2 life to redirect it, but that's okay. So he's still taking damage from Tarmogoyf. I'm thinking about that bolt. So yeah. So we are trying to figure out like at what point like he's bolting stuff. So after damage, because he doesn't want to potentially add artifact or planeswalker to the art for Tarmogoyf taking more damage. So took 2, first bolt resurrected, second bolt to Liliana. I decided to actually pay the life for Spellscatter again. I could have just let Liliana leave, but I think when he's kind of like grinded out, I feel like keeping Liliana up is much better than having the Spellscatter in play. We're in this kind of attrition war. Goes down to 4. I'm at 10. Plus in Lily, he pitches land. I pitch Damnation, and then Tarmogoyf is supposed to seal the deal. He has only 1 card in hand. Terminate on 1 Tarmogoyf and then to another one. Yeah, you see his frustrations. He would really love like the ball to kill the Tarmogoyf, but I'm quite sure that like this is how it works, the interaction with Bolt and Tarmogoyf when there are already like 2 other card types in the graveyards. So there it is, folks. So just reminding you how I boarded. So extra Fulminator, there were 3 main decks, so of course like some builds would be much different. Spellscatter, Olivia, so just more ways to kind of disrupt him. Not sure like that was correct like for the twin to board this way, but there you have it. So I had actually boarded in 2 Spellscatters. The moon didn't show up. It could have really wrecked me, could have really helped him out in some of the games, but it just didn't want to show up. Okay guys, until the next sale, good reader come. Bye.